we have any other old business? Okay, we'll move on to new business. Do we have any new business?
New business?
All right.
I thought you did. I'm sure you did somewhere.
First, I want to echo what our board member, Mr. Colford, said about our fabulous football team and highlight the coaching of our teachers as well and the coaches there. They did an exemplary job. If you were really close up, sidelines, you could hear them just leading the kids and guiding them, directing them, and holding them to a high expectations for giving their best and doing their best. The kids outperform themselves. We have a lot to be proud of, and we're going to restate that over and over and over again, demonstrating the high expectations and belief in our young people, as well as our staff. So thank you for recognizing them. Secondly, on Monday, we are going to further present to you our recycling program. So I'd like to just give you a tidbit to wet your palate. We're going to have
One of these folders.
yeah, we're trying not to kill the tree.
Yeah, too late.
We're going to have a recycling program poster contest that will involve all of our schools, all of our students. So it will be pre-K to 12, and the posters will be due to our building principals by January 31st. But we're going to go in a little bit more detail on Monday, really telling you about the district-wide recycling program and how we will go green, right? Other supporting activity around this initiative involves our science department and our high school Green Indian Club. They're partnering with members of the community and the community library garden program. So we're really excited about them. Actually, they are going to move forward in testing the soil where the library is doing the community garden. Kids are excited. We have teachers that are excited. I want to thank you again, our board member, Mr. Kaufman, who really shared the information with us. And I want to recognize Michael Ostroff and our high school staff that followed through and involving teachers and young people. They're excited, and I think it's going to be great. Next, we have for you about a 23-minute actually, presentation of an overview of the Pennsauken School District 2010-2011 student achievement data, which you have in your folders, copies of PowerPoint. Adequate progress are the benchmarks that are required for our students to meet. No Child Left Behind is a law that requires our students to be at the fifth and or above by the year 2014. And our once upon a time director of curriculum and instruction, Mr. Brzezinski, will give our overview of this presentation. But once again, I want to acknowledge Mr. Michael Ostroff, who worked hand in hand with us in preparing this PowerPoint. So we've timed it. We've got it down to about 23 minutes with high performance.
It's actually 23 minutes and 9 seconds.
We're going to ask that you write your questions, allow Mr. Brzezinski to present the information, and then afterwards, we'll be happy to answer your questions.
Good evening, everybody.
Do we need to answer a little bit?
Remember, just
Not all of them,
the
so
one,
they can see
the one on the back wall there. Well, as we do yearly, we provide the board and the public with an overview of the standardized assessment and scores. As information, this is the district's demographics. As you can see, the LEP students are slightly under 2%, special education 1.5. The SES
Kurt, what was the LEP again?
The LEP is a limited English proficiency.
Okay. We're plenty.
The SES, or the free and reduced, economically disadvantaged group is 65% of the district. Ethnically, African Americans comprise 34%, Asians approximately 10.5%, Hispanics slightly over 38%, white students 17.25%, and other students, which includes Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders and Native Americans, under 1%. For information as a reminder, the AYP benchmark scores increased between the last test in 2010 and this test in 2011. For language arts in grades 3 to 5, the benchmarks jumped from 59% to 79%. In grades 6 to 8, the benchmarks jumped from 72% to 86%. In grades 11, the benchmark jumped from 85% to 92%. In math, benchmarks jumped in grades 3 to 5 from 66% to 83%. In the grades 6 to 8, from 61% to 80%. In grades 11, from 74 to 86%. This slide represents a 3-year trend for AYP data. Schools must reach the benchmarks in language arts and math for all reportable subgroups for a school to attain adequate yearly progress. In 2009, Pennsauken had 5 schools attain AYP. In 2011, we had 1 school attain AYP. This chart represents the district's language arts literacy AYP data and shows each school's subgroups and whether or not they attained the benchmark or safe harbor. The blue shaded areas indicate the subgroups that did not attain the benchmarks. This slide identifies the state benchmarks in language arts literacy from 2008 to 2013. For example, the benchmark for 2008 was 59% for grades 3 to 5 for grades 3 to 5, and from 2011 to 2013, the benchmark is 79%. Also, this slide demonstrates Pensauken's proficiency percentage. The 11th grade numbers down the bottom, the 80.3, 90, and 82.2, represent the 3 opportunities the students had to take the HESPA. At the high school level, scores are banked, and the students have 3 opportunities to take the HESPA. They take the HESPA in the spring of their junior year, and those who do not pass the assessment take it again in the fall of the next school year. If they don't pass again, they have 1 more opportunity in the spring to take the test in that second year. After that, students who do not pass all 3 attempts are given the alternate high school assessment. This is a graphic representation of the language arts literacy benchmark scores for 08 to 10 and 11 to 13 compared to the proficiency percentages for 2009, 2010, and 2011. As indicated here, there's a drop in grades 3 to 5 and 7, and a rise in grades 7, 8, and 11. This slide represents a 3-year trend for proficiency percentage for the district subgroups in language arts literacy. This is a comparison among our schools' proficiency percentages in language arts for the total, special education, limited English proficient, and economically disadvantaged subgroups in the district factor group and the state's proficiency percentages. As a reminder, the district factor group is a comparative socioeconomic group in which the district is associated.
You don't have enough in the place, it doesn't fix.
Results are varied. We'll take note of Roosevelt's special education percentage and our district's limited English proficient students compared to the DFG and the state scores. This graph represents the students' ethnic subgroups compared to the district factor group and the state scores in 3rd grade language arts. Although the scores were lower in most cases, the trends for the subgroups are consistent with the DFG in the state. This slide represents a 3-year trend for the proficiency percentage for the district subgroups in language arts literacy in fourth grade. This is a comparison of our school's proficiency percentages for fourth grade language arts literacy, the total special education, limited English, and economically disadvantaged student subgroups, and the district factor proficiency percentages. Take note of the district's limited English proficiency students compared to the district factor group and the state scores. This graph represents our school's ethnic subgroups compared to the district factor groups and state scores for the fourth grade language arts literacy. Although the scores were lower in most cases, the trends for the subgroups, again, are consistent with the DFG and the state. This slide is a representation of the three-year trend for the proficiency percentage for the district subgroups in fifth grade language arts literacy. This is a graphic representation of the fifth grade language arts literacy proficiency percentages compared to the district factor groups and the state percentages. All the subgroups are lower than the DFG in the state, with the African American subgroup performing just slightly below comparative DFGs in the state scores.